The hell?
What the hell is even that?
What the hell is going on? What the hell?
What the hell is that?
What the hell is wrong with you people?
What the hell? What the hell? WTHN, this is the show where you will hear what the hell matters to us now. Local celebrities, family, friends, and your everyday person. Talking about what the hell real people talk about. WTHN, starting now.
Welcome to WTHN What the Hell Now with me, your host D. Carter, and Mr.
Yes, ma'am.
Sullivan in the building to talk about Black Men United Coalition and Brotherhood and Sisterhood. And I can't wait to see what you got up for us next. And so go ahead and introduce yourself so we can talk to you and what you got.
Peace and blessings. What the hell now, audience? My name is Michael Sullivan. I am Chief Director of Black Men United Coalition, the Brotherhood and Sisterhood. Our base is out of Greenville, South Carolina, and I am currently a resident of Denver, Colorado. And we're striving to hold an event August the 26th and August the 27th. We're holding a banquet at the Hyatt Regency downtown Greenville, which is on the 26th and the excuse me, and on the 27th we're having the conference at Philly Suite, the community center.
That's awesome. And so tell us what the organization is first in general.
Well, the organization, we are a nonprofit organization. We're new to the community. Our aim is basically centered around us and the development of our community. Give you something that I've been kind of analyzing. Greenville, South Carolina is a fast growing community economically. We can see that if we go through the downtown area with the Falls Park area, with even all the way up to the Hudson Street area, coming back to the West Greenville area in the way that those communities are being redeveloped, even on the Green Avenue area. And my concern for our community is, where do we exist within that growth and development economically? And how do we become an economical growth and development within our community with that change? Because if we don't become aware economically and begin to get into the process of developing ourselves, then as a community we'll be left behind within that growth and development within that city.
For sure. I understand completely. So within the name, because when you sent me the name of the organization, I
Yes, ma'am.
see that it did begin with Black Men United, then you put the Brotherhood into it. And so why that?
Well, one of the reasons why I chose Black Men United is because when we look at our culture of grassroots movements and organizations over the history and of maybe, let's say, we can go back to 60 years, we'll see a vast movement of our Black women taking the forefront. We can take this all the way back to the UNIA and the Marcus Garvey movement, which we can see through the photos, even the Black Panther Party, which a lot of people didn't know that Sister Elaine Brown, Assata Shakur, they ran the Black Panther Party when at Huey's demise. When we look at just different organizations within our community, it's our women that are out there on the forefront fighting for our freedom, our justices, and our equalities. And my concern is that I seen a post where I seen a sister say, "Where are our Black men?" And I started kind of looking at the dynamics of some of the political events and social events going on in Greenville, dealing with activism with Bruce Wilson, Tracy Fant, Sister Mata Crawford, Sister Chiquita Wallace, and many different others. And when I see them in the public, I see more women out there on the forefront. And I was like, okay, well, we need to unite our brothers. We are considered the head of our households. We're considered leadership in our communities, we are considered the strength within our communities. And I think it's time that the brothers start to connect and become a collective unit within our communities. If you don't mind me sharing this with you in for just to kind of give a little bit more understanding. When we look at all the incidents that's been happening in our community dealing with police brutality, when we're dealing with some of these racist militias and their sales that are coming into our neighborhoods, coming into our schools, shooting our children, shooting our women and children, then I wanted to understand, why do these people feel safe enough to do it? And I think they're analyzing the Black community as well, and they see that our community isn't as unified as we should be.
Mm-hmm.
People should be horrified to come into our communities and assault and murder anyone. They should be very scared to do that. And when they don't see that level of unification within the Black men's sector, then they say, well, hey, they're vulnerable. And that's why, if you notice, a lot of our women and children are being attacked because men in our community aren't showing a level of solidarity to get a united front base set where people will actually say, well, hey, I don't think I want to go in that community and try that.
For sure. And so I'm glad that you started it. And I mean, the word coalition and, united alone, the title, is a big deal. And
Yes, ma'am.
With starting this, and then you say that you have an event coming up. Well, first of all, if people wanted to join the coalition, how would they be able to join?
Well, I've been putting up posts that has my information on Facebook, that you can call me, and I'll put my number out there if you want to join Black Men United directly with me. You can call 864-720-5782. During the banquet and the conference, we will have a table set up where people can come and register to be a part. And the difference with us is this right here. When what we're asking is that the community come and support us. And when I say us, I mean us as a community. We're not asking for monthly dues when you don't have to pay anything to be a part of Black Men United. We're asking the community to bring their respectable fraternities, churches, and organizations, nonprofits, and so forth and so on, to come in partnership with us and changing some of the narratives that exist within our society. We have many Black-on-Black violence, gentrification, economical development. Most definitely, my PowerPoint is education. I would like for the community to look up who Robert F. Smith is. He's a billionaire who opened up a STEAM academy out here in Colorado, and it's centered around urban growth and development. And they are centered around more like the HBCUs and the middle school and high school equivalency. And Greenville, South Carolina doesn't have that type of education. And I guess I am so adamant about that is because they're taking certain elements out of the public schools that our children need, dealing with critical race theory, dealing with most definitely the spiritual aspect of school. I remember when I grew up in school, we used to have to say the Lord's Prayer before we started school. So when you remove those elements out of the school, then what does that leave our children and their learning ability and what they will learn and how they will learn it?
And so being with the joining basically is you're just mainly trying to get everyone together as a collective, and so that we're on the same. And so with doing that, I know that you have, instead of just a lot of talk, is actual steps, that you're trying to take and get people to understand. We need to start going ahead and making a process easier to do so.
I think that when we look at us from a historical point of view, we have done everything that we could under the leadership that we've had. Give you an example. When we go back to the Martin Luther King era, we marched, we held hands, we protested, and we went to legislation. When Malcolm X came, we said, well, okay, well, we're not going for some of these things that we did. And the Nation of Islam created the Million Man March, and it showed us solidarity for that day. When George Floyd was murdered by the police, we gathered and we rioted and we protested. But guess what? It didn't last, because the holding hands, screaming, no justice, no peace, the rioting and the protesting and marching from one side of the city to the next side is not showing a consistent level of collectivity. We're not allowing ourselves to show an ongoing process when society disrupts the unification and justice level of our community. They should not feel comfortable. And I'm not talking about screaming out no justice, no peace for a week or two. I'm talking about getting down to the roots of every issue that we have as a community and addressing it and not giving up on it. Not saying, and one of our problems is not just being inconsistent, is that we have an issue with us as a community where if it didn't bother us directly, we won't involve ourselves.
That's my business. That's what people.
It's not none of my business. And so not understanding that from a political aspect, everything that we experience in our communities is basically politically motivated, and it does affect you.
Yeah.
If it doesn't affect you directly, physically, it affects your pockets. It affects your livelihood. It affects your environment. And so we have to really pay attention and start collectively being involved with our movements and involved in our communities. I'm gonna give you another short example. City council holds meetings every so often throughout the month. How many times do we as a collective, as a people, go join the city council meetings to know that what's going on in our school boards, what's going on in our communities? Excuse me. So then when we turn around and we see a part of our Black communities being gentrified, we want to yell and scream and shout, hey, y'all can't do this, when they done plotted this for a year ago.
Yes.
And so we really have to start becoming more aware. A brother, go ahead.
So the coalition is mainly because I know that, when I do Derek Quarles, I told him, people just don't know. They weren't taught different things. And so I'm hoping that, with what you're doing, that's one of the things that y'all set out to do. And well, I'm gonna say because I'm coming. And so that we is actually them that, because something that he told me when we were interviewing is that he said he walked up to a house and said that are you voting? He said the guy said no one ever asked me to vote. And so didn't even know that he needed to be voting for and Senate and stuff like that. It was just a that he knew about. And so he didn't even know. And he was a young guy, like 21, 22. And so, but he didn't even know that there was anything else that he was supposed to be voting.
Right. The system has created a barrier between our society and the political arena, where you have brothers that's been incarcerated and sisters that's been incarcerated that are told that they can't vote when that's not true. We have to do our research. We have to begin to, like I say, develop a source and base. And we thank, and let me say this, we thank you, my sister, for What the Hell Now, for attacking some of the issues that we really need to address and get down and have these conversations, because as you were saying, we do a lot of talking. We can talk all day. What I don't like is that we will target a lot of the problems like I named black on black violence and so forth and so on. We will target those issues and speak about it and speak how bad it is. But what I'm not seeing is the core solutions being brought to the forefront about, okay, well, we got black on black violence. Well, what is our 10-piece platform that we could use to change black on black violence?
Yeah, what is the plan? And so
Right.
I know that that's one thing when we talked briefly about the conference. And I know that that's one of the things that you were talking about. So tell us about this conference, because I'm excited.
Oh, the conference. The conference is going to be the icing on the cake for us because the banquet is to bring us together. We're going to congregate and most definitely have a great time. It's a black carpet / red carpet event. We're going to have all the lights and cameras up, and we're going to have a great time. And I'll get back to that in a minute. The conference is us doing exactly what we're saying, is putting our boots to the ground as a collective. And I'm going to sit down on a panel with about maybe 10 of our leaders and activists. Some of you will know and some of you won't know. People that I've been over contact with over the last year or so, that has something to say, that have a voice, that we need to get down to the nitty gritty, as to say, what is the plans for some of our individuals that have won some of these seats through these preliminaries, and what are your plans to move the Black community forward? We've seen this, and I'm not directing this at no one when I say this, but we've seen over and over again where we get the community involved to vote, and then we'll get our individuals into these seats, and they become a token piece for the political arena to come and pacify the Black community instead of answering and addressing the questions that we have and getting things done with the community. Yeah. They become a chess piece against the community, and they're used, a lot of them are into this political arena for fame, for fortune, for popularity, instead of being for the people. And so it is important that we get out and vote the right people in some of these seats and get everyone involved. The more we get involved, the more we can change some of the narratives that exist within our society.
That's awesome. So I know this conference is going to be amazing. And I know, some of the things like crime and the is going to be addressed. Some simple things that really need to be addressed is, just the upbringing of children, and stability in the community, because there are different ways that you can, bring your child up in different beliefs and things like that. What's one of the things that you see just as a collective, no matter what belief you believe in, no matter how you grew up, that we are missing?
I think that, and I'm glad you asked that question, because the question that you asked is centered around the whole makeup of our event. The name of this event is going to be called the Tribal Gathering. It takes a village. And because we've gotten away from the village mentality, give you a small example. What I mean is that we don't know where we're from as a Black people here in America. Like, you look like you could be a sister from the Zulu nation. I look like a brother that could be from the Igbo nation. Well, one thing that we do our historical facts on those cultures is that they even developed a midway unification with one another to get things done, commerce, trade, so forth and so on. So we call it tribal gathering because we are many, and we come from different sectors of being a tribe. And it takes a village to raise our children, no matter what religion, no matter what your child believes in or what you believe in directly. It takes a village. We have allowed the systems to raise our children, and they did that through, if you whoop your child, you can go to jail. A child, the Bible says, those that adhere to that level of religion, the Bible gives us a warning: if you spare the rod, you spoil the child. And so we have a lot of spoiled children running around here, rebelling against authority, rebelling against the culture. We have to use that village mentality. The school and the system can't tell me how to raise my child, because they're not putting food in front of my child and they're not putting clothes on my child's back. So how dare you tell me how to discipline my child? I remember back in the day, I'm 51 years old, and I come from an era, if I was out in the street and some parent or some elder seen me doing something, they didn't mind going to me and checking me or telling my mother what I've done, and telling, hey, I had to stop him from doing this and that. Nowadays, if you go check someone's child, they finna go get their flip-flops, their Vaseline, and take off them earrings and come with their weapons and family members to come attack you for checking the child that they're not raising to be respectful in society. And so we have to get back to that. It takes a village mentality to make us grow economically and unified.
And so it absolutely take. And so with the coalition, is that one of the things that you're going to have? Someone that may be a specialist, or I don't know, if somebody grandmother done it. But what I've done, what God has allowed me to do, is bring together a collective of individuals from each walk of life, psychologists, teachers, ministers, activists, pastors, to start being involved with our community a little more. Let me go back to the banquet. So we'll be honoring some elders who have paved the way for us. Dr. John Corbett, Dr. Tony Parks, Sister Ethia Wanganza. We are honoring those elders because they have put in the work and most definitely gave our community a service for years, up to 50 years, some of these individuals. Well, we'll be honoring the children as well, because the children have to see us unified. You know that our children are feeling, if you talk to children in high school and middle school nowadays, they'll feel like we've dropped the ball in a generation where we're not securing them in their future. We're not leading them properly. You know, we've allowed like entertainment, we've allowed the system to rear our children. And so now if we're scared of this generation, then we have to look at ourselves and say, why? Why have we allowed this to evolve as it has? So we bringing this collective movement of people together to change the narrative, to change some of the things that exist, to show our children, hey, we got your back. You know, we want you to fulfill our positions as the next leadership. We want the next D. Carters to come up and be in the media. We want the next Michael Sullivans to come up and show a level of solidarity amongst our Black men. We have to, because I am so sick and tired of the man versus woman agenda that exists within our community. And and when I say get to the root of it, Ms. Carter, we have to look at 1712. People want to say that 1712 was non-existent, but when we look at the Willie Lynch syndrome, we can see the effects of it. And we have the lighter skin versus darker skin still exists. We're dealing with racial status. We are still dealing with the man, now so more than ever, the man versus the woman, because I think the feminist movement, which I'm not against the feminist movement, what I'm saying is that the feminist movement has taken this I don't need a man approach and attitude to the ability for men and women in our society to actually become a collective. Because our women are given a certain level of, we'll just say, freedoms in a sense. But they've even showed now that the system, we're talking about the system, has shown we don't care about women rights. We don't care about what you people think, because we run it. But guess what? We put you there.
our numbers allowed you to be in the seat that you are in. So we really have to get that village mentality back into our psyche instead of allowing the Willie Lynch syndrome to keep us separated and divided.
Yes, and giving ourselves permission to do so. That's one of the things that everyone is kind of afraid of. That when I moved here, that I saw. Everyone is just so afraid of being your Black self.
Right.
Like, it is okay, and so because if you're not comfortable with it, no one will be.
We have taken upon, we live in, South Carolina is a Confederate state. And that, and I hate to say this, but that slave mentality exists.
And it's dying, though. I can't say that. It's dying out.
It's dying out because it's dying out because individuals like yourself, myself, are opening that doorway and that gateway to consciousness. They say, well, you want to hide something from a Black person, put it in the book. Well, guess what? We lied. You don't have to read it. We're speaking the words straight to your ear.
For sure.
So we just have to start becoming collective and collective minded, bring back that village mentality, and most definitely start being consistent in our approach and leave some of the traditional things alone. Marcus Garvey left the blueprint for us to succeed. Malcolm X left the blueprint for us to succeed. The MOVE organization left us the blueprint to succeed. We just laid that blueprint down and started picking up foreign, and I mean outside ideologies and culture to involve into what we're doing. And everything has gotten all jumbled up. A pastor asked me one time, Brother Sullivan, what would you say the problem is? I say the problem is we got away from the basics. 1 + 1 = 2. So we have to go to A to B to C to D to get things done. But we're so a part of this microwave culture where we want everything instant. And so that has allowed a lot of foreign ideologies to come in, intervene with how we progress and what we need to do as a community.
For sure. I love it. Wait until the conference and now with the conference, so like, is it going to be a platform to where others are involved to be able to that are on at the table questions? And
yes. What I will do first, I will do a Q&A with the actual panel, but we will open up the floor. That's why we want the whole community to come out, because a lot of our everyday people in the community don't really get to sit down with its leaders. Don't really get to sit down with our Black leadership and say, well, hey, I have a question, or hey, I would like to speak to you about such and such and so forth and so on. You get these leaders get to the point where they'll tell you, call my representation, call this person, that person, this person. They put you through a lot of yellow and red tape before you can get to anyone. So the conference opened that door for the community to interact with our leadership and back and forth. And it's going to be a blessing to sit down and see all the beautiful people at the conference. The banquet, just to let everyone know, the banquet is, like I said, August the 26th is from 6 to 11. We're coming out in our African attire that day. Everyone come out in your African Wakanda gear.
Downtown, right?
Downtown Greenville. We're making a statement.
And we're making downtown Greenville with kids.
We're making a statement to say we are here, we belong here, we are part of this community, and it's going to be so much fun. we were able to get the Hyatt Regency this year to hold the event. And this is not a one-stop shop event. We want to hold this event every year, and we want to build relationships with the community to host it every year and have sponsors and develop this thing to grow, where it becomes a celebration in Greenville, South Carolina, and abroad. This year it's in Greenville. Next year we might be in Atlanta. The year after that we might be in Charlotte. We want to move it around from city to city, state to state, to create a link, a chain of solidarity amongst the Black community. South Carolina sits within the 5 Black Belt state unification. Yeah. That would be South Carolina and North Carolina as one, Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, and Mississippi are the 5 Black Belt states. And we have to really unite and bond those states so the world can see us move. This is only but the beginning with Greenville. We're striving to bring this to a really broad movement and audience. And say, hey, we here.
Banquet, and because it's going to be a lot of fun to see all of us.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have a lot. We're expecting to have a ball that night. And as I was telling someone else, when the lights have gone down, when you have shut down the red carpet with your interviews, and when the food is all gone and we done danced our shoes into sores on our feet, then we get down to business.
For sure.
About what we need to do as a community, because I am so sick and tired of seeing my society on the back end of development economically. We can't do nothing without economics, and we have to be economically inclined and developed to make ourselves grow.
A lot of things for us in secret and behind closed doors. Like you said, we didn't find out until a year later that this is even happening to us. And so it is time to put everything on the forefront to where we are available in the room and on the scene while it's happening. And so very excited.
We can see, just point something else to you real quick. When the last time you've been on White Horse Road?
The other day.
So when you go up White Horse Road in the Berea area, do you see the dynamics in White Horse Road?
For sure.
We in the Black community, we call White Horse Road Little Mexico now, which is fine, which is all fine and well. But my thing, if we can watch a nation of people who were not raised here, who were not born here, coming to a part of your city and develop its own economical foundation in a certain area, especially on White Horse Road, which is a major road in Greenville, South Carolina, that can develop themselves economically. Why can't we?
And we can, and we already made the most money for them, for everybody else. We go to Little Mexico and shop too, and so it's like we're creating and rotating all this money for them, and it is definitely time because they make off of us, everyone.
I think part of our redevelopment in our communities consists of taking full responsibility within our communities and accountability. Sure. And I say that in this notion right here. When you go out your home and drive through the community today, you will see these things exist. You will see what we call side or mom and pops gas stations. We're not talking about Spinks and Quick Trip. We're talking about the little side gas stations that sit at the top of West Greenville on Anderson Road or Easley Bridge Road, those little small gas stations that exist on Buncombe Road. And when we look at those gas stations, even restaurants, beauty salons, and so forth and so on. You can't show me where there's a Black owner in those environments. And so what we're doing, we allow these foreigners to come in and open up businesses within our communities. We spend with them on a vast, because they exist in our communities, but they're not a part of the redevelopment of our communities, because we can't go to those businesses and say, hey, we want to build a swimming pool for our children, or we need a donation for a park for our children. We can't go to these businesses and say, would you mind donating or assisting in development of our community, but they want to take the money out of our community.
And we
if you
got to stop allowing them. And so just understanding that in general, people have to understand what's really happening. And so once we stop allowing them and getting things together like this and helping people understand what's really happening versus complaining about it later, and how can we do it the same way that they did it, and better. We can do
that. And this is what I was speaking about, city council and being involved in what's going on in city council, because what they have done is open up businesses, and it's there. And what I hate is that the opportunity is there, the ability is there. We don't take advantage of it as a people. To go to some of these seminars and be a part of some of these programs, small business programs, for us to get grants and so forth and so on, so we can open up our own businesses as well.
And it is really because right now people would rather be entertained than educated. I mean,
right.
That's what it is. And so if you had somebody that like Lil Boosie, it'll be flooded, and then you get them in there and trap them in there and start talking about some stuff and find out Boosie ain't even gonna entertain. Oh, they'll be upset at first, but now we got you in here. And so
yeah, right. It's all a monopoly, and it's about manipulation. And so we really have to, I'm aimed at the children. I'm aimed at the children, most definitely, because we do have those elements of people that says, that ain't put no food on my table or no clothes on my back, so it doesn't involve me. But guess what? When they see it change, then they want to come running and be a part of it. And the type of people that we're going to let them in. We will, because we are loving people. But what we have to do is get collective minded. I am so adamant about our people sitting down together, and that's another reason for Black Men United. We don't have a leadership table. We have certain individuals here that are part of the system, but we don't have that round collective table where people like you, me, Bruce Wilson, Adrian, Derek, and many others can sit down and start putting our minds together to get things done. But the way that the political arena wants, they want these Black men and women warring with one another to keep us continually divided. I'm not going to call any names, but there was an incident dealing with our activism where you had people taking sides. All that does is divide the community. So we got these people who like these people over here, these people like these people over here, and these people don't like these people over here. So how can we collectively get anything together when these leaders are at war with one another? When these Black leaders can't sit down at a table and say, okay, well, let's make this an agenda to attack. Let's collectively attack this, and the third. If dealing with this voting process, it's like, well, I didn't win, so I didn't win. I won't come support you if you won. I won't bring my people along with me to support you. We'll just say, well, forget them over there. We don't got nothing to do with that. Not knowing that we all have a common opposition.
still
that
about
exists right in front of us.
and it's still about to affect us no matter who won. We better
Right.
and say and hear them out and give peace because it's still gonna affect you and later on. And so
Yes.
I'm glad that we got a chance to do this interview, and I know you're in Colorado right now.
Yes, Denver, Colorado. I live in a historical Black neighborhood called Park Hill. My wife is here. She is actually, you want to say your? Here, I'm gonna let my wife speak with you and tell you who she is.
Oh my goodness, who I am.
Yeah.
You today, lady.
Hello, beautiful. How are you?
Well, thank you so much.
Oh, it's so nice to see you.
As well, and
Yeah.
yourself.
Oh, thank you. No, you know what? I'm so grateful that you've given Michael this opportunity. It's a wonderful, wonderful platform that you have, and I am a fan. I hope that everybody will please, please, please come out in August and support the event. It's going to be a wonderful 2 days. And we were talking about the organization earlier, the Brotherhood and the Sisterhood. So that tells you right there, it is open to both men and women.
Yes.
And I represent the sisterhood part of that because behind every good man is a what?
Great woman.
That's right. So the sisters are here to support our Black men. We need, not want, we need them to take their rightful place in our society, in our communities, in our families. We need our Black men to step up and to unite and to lead.
Yes.
We need them to lead. And there are plenty of women out here who are ready to follow and to support in every way that is needed. And so we just need them to have the courage to just step up and take their place. So that's what Black Men United Coalition is about. And it's just going to be wonderful. And like Michael said, that we will have opportunities for people to sign up at the conference and at the banquet. And we're hoping by then we will have our website up and running as well. But we'll have to see about that. It's a lot. There's a lot to do in a very short amount of time, but we're working at it. And the tickets will be available online in mid-July. And we'll have flyers coming up before that, and everything is going to start rolling really, really quickly pretty soon. But we appreciate you so much, Dee, for all your support. It's just been wonderful.
And I mean, I need it. I'm tired of the unnecessary battles between us and the battle of the sexes. And
it's time to stop. It's time to stop. We need one another. Period. We need one another. And yes, we as women, we are resilient. We are independent. We're wonderful. We are fearfully and wonderfully made. Yes, we are. But we have our place. Yes. And we were not meant to do it by ourselves.
We tired.
Can we get some help? Can we get some help?
Okay, there is some, just like you said, there's a lot of women out there that are to follow, yes. And make sure that they're behind men. It's just time to get collective again together. So
it's time. It is time. And that's the only way that we regain our power. As a people and even just as women, because there's this whole movement. It's not even just the Me Too movement, but it's even going beyond that, where it's like women want to be in power and all this stuff. We've always been in power.
Yeah, I'm sick of it.
We've always been in power in our place. We've had more power than you know what I'm saying. When we are standing beside that man and supporting him and pushing him in the direction we need him to go, we are in power.
Yes, and you can get
It's time for us to rock that lane and rock it to the best of our ability,
for sure.
you know? And so that's why it's called Black Men United Coalition, the Brotherhood and Sisterhood, because yes, sisters, we're there to support, but we want our men out front. We want to push them and get them into their rightful place in society to lead us and to unify us as a people,
Yeah.
so that we can get some things done.
For sure. I'm so ready to see more stand-up men and not men that are mice and scared to say stuff.
Yes. Come on now. Come on. Come on. But God bless you. I'm not going to take up any more time, but thank you again for this platform.
Did you say your name? Did you say?
Oh, my name is Shanta Harrison Sullivan. I am Michael Sullivan's wife. Yes, and I can't wait to meet everyone when we come in August. Oh, it's going to be a great time. I just can't wait to lay eyes on everybody and give hugs and smiles, and let's get this thing popping. Let's get it going.
Ready. Time to unite. Yes.
Yes, it's been time. We can't afford not to at this point, because we're becoming irrelevant. We're disappearing. You know, everybody is appropriating our culture, you know, and they're promoting, you know, Black women with white men and all this stuff, whatever. And there's nothing wrong if that's who you fall in love with. But the fact that there is an actual agenda to push us away from our Black men. Come on, we got to wake up. We got to see it.
Don't give them all the tea yet. We got
to see it. I'm going to save it. We're going to save it. We're going to save it. We're going to save it. But yes, please, please, please come and support. Can't wait to meet you. Can't wait to see you.
You as well. Thank you so much for
hopping. Okay. Be blessed.
Yes, I can't. We can't give them all the tea yet. You know.
We okay. We can't give them all the tea. Right, and we're. I
get excited.
Yeah, we thank you, and most definitely we can't wait to come back and interview with you again. I just want to send a special shout out to some of the members of the organization. My Chief Director of Communications, Sister Candace Atwood, my Director of Events, Sister Stephanie Boyd, my Administrative Counsel, Sister Mata Crawford, and many others, Travis Boyd, Brandon Coleman, and Michael Thompson, Bill Gibson, Bruce Wilson, Wendell Jones, so many brothers and sisters. I just want to say peace and blessings to everyone, and we can't wait to see you all, Greenville, South Carolina, in August. The Banquet. Oh my goodness, we're gonna have a ball. And those that don't know, when y'all walk up on that red carpet, y'all are gonna be met by Sister D. Carter. She's gonna be doing interviews, and she's gonna be just out there on the microphone on the red carpet. We can't wait to bring this event to Greenville, amongst many others that I'm planning to bring. This year we'll do the Tribal Gathering, It Takes a Village celebration. We are also planning on bringing the 100 Black Men in Suits celebration to Greenville. Oh, that's awesome. Oh yes, that's a whole nother live. We'll get that one done. I just want to say, the sister here is my Director of Communications.
Awesome.
She is a very powerful sister as well. She's so intelligent, and her and her family, her husband, they are involved in the community in a major way. They'll be holding basketball tournaments, and I wish we could hear her so she could tell you more about that.
We're gonna have to have live one time with Miss Atwood, so I'm gonna see Miss Atwood and see what she had going on. yeah, we'll get her in. But yes, most definitely, the organization, Black Men United Coalition, the Brotherhood and Sisterhood. We're coming.
we're going to be a force to reckon with when it comes to redeveloping, reconditioning, and reconstruction of our community when it comes to unifying us. And
Well, I want to thank y'all so much for coming on with me. I'm so sorry I couldn't hear you good, but we're gonna get a chance to talk. We're gonna do a lot together, okay? And so we'll get that chance for sure. But again, I look forward to the event in August. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And if how do they reach you one time? Just for the event.
for the event, if you need to reach me, you can reach me via Facebook or via Messenger. You can go on my inbox most definitely and connect with me, Michael Sullivan, or you can reach me at 864-720-5782. And my email address is godssun7575@gmail.com. Again, that is GODSSUN7575@gmail.com. And you can reach me via email as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Michael. And I look forward to the, of course, you know, any comments, y'all make sure y'all reach him in WTHN. What the hell now? And so that's the end of the show. Make sure y'all contact me for anything. Host D. Clark, Sullivan, and Black Men Coalition, and
Yes, ma'am.
Brotherhood. All right. Thank you for what the hell now. Peace.
Peace.